Africa's biggest refinery and the world's largest single-train refinery, the Dangote Refinery, continues to dominate discussions on several traditional and social media platforms. This episode of The Genesis will try to help you understand why this is happening. The Dangote Refinery is an oil refinery that was inaugurated on the 22nd of May 2023 in Lekki, Nigeria.
Now, the world's largest single-train petroleum refining facility, the Dangote Oil Refinery, capable of altering the global energy landscape, has been formally inaugurated.
And it is owned by the CEO of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote.
This commissioning ceremony is just the beginning of a great journey.
The refinery has the capacity to process about 650,000 barrels of crude oil per day. Now, this project is expected to be a big relief for Nigeria in terms of addressing the decade-long issue of fuel importation.
It is going to solve a lot of problems. First of all, even as Dangote Refinery, you're talking about a private initiative that is worthy of praise and emulation. You're talking about a private initiative that is going to address the energy needs of Nigeria, the West African sub-region, if they become supported, and by extension, the continent of Africa.
I think Alhaji Dangote may have transformed the Nigerian economy by just this singular investment, and we must give kudos to him.
Nigerians are beginning to feel the impact of the refinery with the crash in the price of diesel.
There are some people that have actually, held on to the business for a very, very long time. So, they were profiteering, and I think we decided that, look, diesel should not be, we can afford to sell it, at 1,000 naira, which is about 60% drop.
In fact, Dangote received a presidential pat on the back for this feat.
President Bola Tinubu commends the enterprising feat of Dangote Oil and Gas Limited in reducing the gantry price of automotive gas oil, AGO, also known as diesel.
On a tour of the refinery, lawmakers discovered that Dangote's diesel is far superior in terms of quality and safety compared to the imported diesel in the market.
Diesel independently purchased by the lawmakers at 2 filling stations fell short of the benchmark set by international standards with a ppm of 2,631 and 1,839, which is far below international standards of 50 ppm, when it was subjected to scientific tests through a foolproof process. 2 among the visiting legislators were assigned to get the sample of the end products of the diesel produced at Dangote Refinery, and after scientific scrutiny, the outcome was 87.6 ppm and a flash point which is far superior to the imported products in terms of quality and safety.
But the company says it is experiencing some setbacks, especially on the issue of getting enough crude from Nigeria, and so has to source for crude from other countries. Also, the company has accused the international oil companies called the IOCs of trying to frustrate the operations of the refinery. Now, IOCs are simply foreign companies involved in the business of exploring and producing crude oil in Nigeria, and the activities of these companies are regulated by the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC. Key players in this field hold varying opinions on this issue.
Let's be truthful about it. The IOC's frustrating me was pure propaganda by Dangote. That's not true. It's impossible. This is being real. We can play.
So it's pure propaganda?
It's pure. It's pure natural propaganda. Nigeria operates under 4 major agreements. The PSC right now is the biggest where we get crude. Of every PSC agreement right now, the declining take is from the IOCs. The government gets 90% of crude production. This is how it works. The PSC at the beginning, you get high. As it emerges, you get lower and lower. Where we are now, the PSC contracts Nigeria gets 90 to 95% of food produce. On the joint ventures, it's the same thing. Now, the reason why joint ventures are scattered is because the NNPC can't meet its own cash obligations. So NNPC gets to the crude. Of 1.2 million barrels produced in Nigeria today, 850,000 goes to NNPC. So who is not giving Dangote crude? Is it the IOC who took a loan to invest in your deep water, who needs to pay it back, who has signed contracts for long-term production? So it's still NNPC not giving Dangote crude.
We need to commend Dangote for taking on the challenge. It's not an easy challenge. And like you talk about the refinery margins as being slim, they are actually very slim. When you add on the inefficiency in our system, you can easily argue that it's negative. So he did make the right choices in terms of making sure to de-risk his project. It had to be export-oriented, no doubt. But there is a potential huge economic spillover of having a Dangote refinery in Lekki. Yeah? And people are trained, huge workforce. It helps to support the industry. If we see it as part of our overall industrial strategy for growth, rather than it is Dangote's refinery, it's his problem. We have to see it as a collective national issue.
In trying to solve this problem, the government has made some recent moves. The president has directed that crude oil be sold to Dangote in Naira.
The Federal Executive Council has directed NNPC Limited to trade crude oil within local refineries using local currency.
If immediately that NNPC gets engaged with local refineries, and we are starting that with Dangote Refinery.
Experts believe that this will reduce expenses for both Dangote Refinery as well as the foreign exchange. Also, there is a joint committee comprising members of the Senate and the House of Representatives tasked with investigating alleged economic sabotage in the petroleum industry. Now, these moves will hopefully address some of the challenges in the sector.